Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good day, everyone. My name is Dina Naurafatia, and I will be explaining to you guys the introduction and the conclusion. And this part, I will be introducing the introduction part. Okay, so in our case study, it began on April 2018 when the Trump administration announced a zero tolerance policy on illegal immigration. And under this policy, any migrant, including asylum seekers who attempt a US border anywhere at the official port of entry, will show up and be criminally charged. This approach means the systematic separation of newly arrived adult migrants from children accompanying them. If the migrant is in the United States without a permit or an outside official ports, thousands of children from their parents, and following violent public outcry, government are separating families and trying to hold migrant families together, a move that has faced legal challenges and has not moved forward. The Trump administration current policies in this area are far from clear. Although criminal prosecution and detention continue to be a key administrative tool in the deterrence policy, there are clear indications that the government is still pursuing family detention, which can also be relied on for families seeking asylum at ports of entry. However, the government has also indicated that parents of immigrants caught with children under 5 years old of 5 years of age will be tracked with anklets. The police relating to children the policies relating to children over 5 years old have not been clarified. And by law, policies policies of zero tolerance and separation of families differ from one another. Family separation refers to a policy of automatically terminating the family unit as children cannot be held in adult detention centers, whereas zero tolerance is a border crossing approach in which all undocumented immigrants entering our country via border with Mexico are automatically referred for criminal charges and sent to pre-trial prison. Child separation, however, is a direct result of zero tolerance and cannot be terminated without actually ending zero tolerance. Thank you. Will be continued to the background.
Assalamualaikum and good morning. My name is Nahazira Shika binti Arif. My metric number 261606, and today I will present the background. Okay, based on statistic report by Council Foreign Relations in United States, the number of immigration, especially children entering US, is increasing every year, and these immigration cases involve these children often occur at the US and Mexico borders. This involves the number of children immigration cases in the US increasing, and they also face the inhuman condition in the ICE camp. Okay, for the main cause of this case happen is because of the Trump administration, which is Trump administration's commitment to deter immigration, especially children, through atrocities, makes this have made the situation terrible in detention. And because of the number of children immigration increasing every year in the US, Trump's current rule become more cruel and unfair because the children were badly treated by their government. And I can give you a few examples. Um, for example, is among the treatment given to the immigration, especially children, who are in detention centers, are drinks the drinks they receive are rotten and dark color, as well as the food they receive are also rotten and cannot be eaten. The children also has falsely separated from their parents along the detention, and from this uh from this issue, I think the children health also if can be affected because of the food and drink that they are received from the government. And because of these cases, this issue received many attention from related organization, and which is the organization want to help the children to get their rights back. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you.
My name is Nino Anis Bentini Ruslan, and my matric number is 262X through A. I'm going to talk about my part, the analysis part. Convention on the Right of Child in Article 9 mentions about keeping the family together. Kids should not be taken away from the parent until due precaution is taken. The example of this case was the process of family separation in the administration of Trump is a component of the immigration policy of US President Donald Trump. The strategy was described to the public as a zero-tolerance approach to discourage illegal immigration and promote strict law. Post-inquiry showed that a year before the official announcement, the practice of family splitting had begun. The program segregates children and babies from parents who had joined the United States from federal authorities. The parents have been charged, deported, and children have been put under the care of the U.S. Health and Human Service Agency or ICE. It shows an inhumane attitude for separating family members, and this is contrary to the UDHR. The Convention on the Right of the Child in the Article 3 state parties shall ensure cooperation, in particular in the area of defense, welfare, number, and suitability of their staff and professional supervision between agency, programs, and facility responsible for the care of protection and health of children while in detention camp. In example, children in Trump detention centers are crammed into cages, forced to sleep on freezing concrete floors, and risk outbreak of scabies and chickenpox while being forced to eat the uncooked frozen foods. In the area around the detention camp, children report exhaustion and extreme respiratory failure to be observed. Also, the children are not allowed to have soap, toothbrush, and blankets in detention camp because they are expected to be held shortly. But the department officially has been holding children for a week.
Assalamualaikum to Dr. Umu and all my fellow friends. Today I will talk about the solution toward migrant children issue in US. First of all, several parties have taken their action to get back their human rights for children that have been trauma in the migrant camp. First action that took by US is making a reverse policy on migrant children sponsor. The children detained at the migrant camp will be taken with fingerprints to facilitate the affair of the government in surveying the children from various aspects. This has led to the separation between children and their parents due to the existence of a tolerance policy made during the Trump administration. However, the needs for this fingerprint will ensure the safety and needs of children in the camp to be handed over the sponsor. Sponsor is a new person or family who wants to take care of unattended children when they come to the camp. Besides that, the Health and Human Service officer focus on the children in the camp by taking care of their health, safety, and interests. Meanwhile, the Border Patrol must transfer children to the Health and Human Service care within 72 hours to identify the identity and condition of the child. However, this separation has caused public outrage around the world, so the action that taken by the number of organizations in United States were unsuccessful due to the some obstacle faced by the children and the organization under administration of Trump. However, there are some recent action taken by the new presidents, which is President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris, to help immigrant children at the US border and camp. The first action is they prioritize family unity. This is because they have long been separated due to the zero tolerance policy. The impact of this policy is that they have experienced mental and physical health problems, so they need time together again to continue their life in the US. As such, the Biden-Harris administration has committed to creating a federal task force to lead this separation issue. Hence, this task force will be launched immediately and include members with expertise in child development, Central American culture, and Spanish and indigenous languages. Next, they ensure that children development is a priority at the US-Mexico border. Biden will end the Migrant Protection Protocol, or they call it MPP, but do it in coordination with humanitarian actors to ensure support for children during the replacement process, including health service, nutrition, sanitation, education, and basic protection. Accordingly, due to the Plan of Children in Need of Defense (KIND) to protect children who are not accompanied on the trip, it is very important to improve the behavior of children who arrive at the border. This means incorporating well-trained and licensed child wellness professionals with expertise in the psychological, emotional, and physical needs of children, and ensuring a clean and child-friendly space to screen and process child cases. Lastly, the action that taken by them is ensure access to social safety nets for immigrant children and families. Thus, the Biden and Harris administration are able to take immediate scientific action to improve the health, economic, and educational outcome of the life of children, youth, and their family who are immigrants across the country. That's all from me. I will pass to the next presenter. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum, and my name is Siti Zarina binti Muhammad Zamri. My matric number is 263713. So my part is to explain the stagnation for our topic, the inhuman condition of children in the ICE camp. So the first suggestion that I will like to recommend is improve conditions of the confinement to meet the basic of human rights standard. So the first is children who reach the border with their parents were detained and separate from the parents. After being detained, he was placed in a confinement center and did not have a sufficient basic facility and was even left alone without adequate care. So the stakeholder need to ensure that confinement facility have adequate basic need for the children. The basic right to life as a human being should be given priority by immigrant receiving country, because that is a human right. The act of isolation them from parents is not longer human, but at least the basic necessity of life, such as enough food for the children, nutrition, drinking water, clean and hygiene facilities such as bedroom with a stove and toilet space and safe bed for the children. And this stakeholder need to ensure this basic first when immigrant children reach the country, because of the action that total these children from getting necessity. The basic is wrong for denying the right as a human being. My second point to give a suggestion is fully repeal the policy on parental separation and take all appropriate steps to reunite children with their family. Under administration of President Donald Trump, he's decided to implement a zero tolerance policy. That is a policy that will side with the United States government that will not compromise on the parent who cross the US border illegally with their children. Through this policy, given the United States government the right to separate parents from their children during the process of settling the case as an illegal immigrant. So the stakeholder must fully repeal the policy on parental separation. It because from this family separation policy will have a profound effect on the life of these immigrant children. Last suggestion point is to resolve immigrant children's right is provide legal service to immigrants, particularly unaccompanied children through immigration and thrives on asylum. Immigrant children also have the right to obtain legal service during court hearing. The stakeholder need to ensure that immigrant and their family are entitled to legal service during immigration and asylum hearing at the immigration court because in addition, the government should give free legal aid in immigration proceedings is also the priority that need to take as a consideration of stakeholder. Most of legal immigration face financial barrier to have a legal service to repent themselves when it comes to immigration court during immigration and asylum hearing.
Okay, so we've reached the conclusion part of this case study. Uh, One of the reasons behind the terrible condition in the ICE camps is mainly due to the zero tolerance policy that was implemented by Trump's administration in order to decrease immigrants coming from Mexico to the US. However, the conditions in those camps are against the human decency. The Amnesty International and American Civil Liberties Union, also known as ACLU, among others, have reported that in these facilities it is inhumane. It is also in violation of the uh, Article 9 in the Convention of Rights of the Child. It states that families should not be separated. And on Article 3, it states that parties must ensure assistance between institution, program, and facilities responsible for the care and safety of children while in these detention camps. Whereas in reality, the children are denied the right to bathe, food are beyond consumable, detainees are given Mylar blankets, also known as emergency blankets, in order to keep themselves warm and is placed in crowded cells. Various actions have been taken to improve the condition of children at the borders, such as the government trying to implement a reverse policy that will make children of the immigrant parents have sponsors. The Health and Human Service Officer will focus on children in the camps by taking care of their health, safety, and interests. Uh, that is when uh, that was the action that was taken on the Trump administration. And here, as uh, President elect Joe Biden and uh, Vice President elect Kamala Harris takes into office, they will prioritize family reunification after ensuring that children's development is a priority at the US Mexico border, promoting appropriate child care and custody, and ensuring access to social safety nets for children, immigrant, and families. This is all conducted in hopes to improve the health, economic, and educational outcomes of the families. For the lives of children and families who are immigrants all across the U.S. It is also necessary to improve the conditions in camps to meet the basic standards because regardless of the circumstances, we are all human and we should treat one another as humans. Thank you. That is all from me. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, everyone.